and see if y'all need any help on what you've seen. I don't know. I've only found 4 questions, so I don't know. My email is messed up, so I don't know if I'm getting them all or not. So you'll just have to bear with me.
How exactly does ask instructor thing work?
Did I not cover that with y'all?
Well,
I thought I did. You hit it and then send it to me.
it does. It looks like you need to type something on it.
You don't have to. That's just if you want to.
So it does. Like
Yep.
I used it. I thought I used it. I used it twice. Then after the second, I'm like, wait, was I supposed to type something?
In fact, got one. Let's see. This is orientation. We already went over that one, I believe, but I'll look at it. Question 5 on the orientation. I don't even know what the orientation is. No, I don't know what this is. Where was your problem, Ms. Foster? Okay. Okay, I thought you were talking about a math question. Okay, orientation, that's fine. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. So we'll go back to my email and pull up. Let's see, 1.1, that's number 5, and this is 1.1, number 7. So we'll do 1.1, number 5. And it says find the domain of the following function. Okay? What is this function? What kind of function is it? Okay, that's not rhetorical. I'm asking y'all, what kind of function is it? None of y'all know what kind of function this is. What does it have in it? So what's that called? Starts with a R. Rational. It's a rational function. And the domain is only affected with a radical or rational function. I think I told y'all that too. All right. Now I hope y'all don't suffer from the same thing that a lot of my classes suffer from. And that's just not what? Not listening. But I don't know because y'all don't interact, so I don't know if you know the answer or not. So that's why it always helps to interact when the teacher asks a question. And when you interact, you don't go. You answer. All right, so what do you do when you have y is equal to 7, negative 7 over x plus 1 plus 16? Are you even worried about the 16? No. What are you worried about? X plus 1, because you can't have what in that denominator? You can't have 0 in the denominator. So you set, whenever you have a rational function, and it's asking about the domain, you set the domain equal to what? 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0.
Just like the radical?
Set the radicand equal to 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. X is equal to what? So if you plug negative 1 into this function, you're going to get a 0 in the denominator, which blows up the function. So you can use all real numbers except for what? All real numbers except for x cannot equal negative 1. C. And you would put except x is equal to 1. I don't know what they want there, but I would assume they want x is equal to 1. Or x is not equal to 1. I don't know. I'm just going to say 1, negative 1. And that's the answer. That's why it says except. The domain is all real numbers except negative 1. And that's what that says right there. I'll take either answer. If you put this on a test, I'll take it. Even if it marks it wrong, I'll take it. That's the answer right there. All right, that takes care of that one. 1.1, number 7. A student classification system associates students with his or her last name. Use this relationship to answer the... What the heck is this? Where did this come from? In the given relationship, use the relationship to answer A and B. In the given relationship, is last name a function of the student? I guess it would be. Because for each student, there's a last name. But wait a minute. Let's look at this. Is that a function? No. Why? Because for this x is equal to 5, you have 2 what? 2 y's. So if 5 has a positive y, let's say 4, and 5 negative 4, you know this is not a function. Okay? Now, on this thing, it says a student classification system associates student with his or her last name. Student with last name. I'm trying to figure out this question. I have no idea where this question came from. Because I wouldn't put it on there, so some other teacher must have done this one. With last name. Use this relationship to answer A and B below. In the given relationship, is the last name a function of the student? Yes, because for each student there is a unique last name. I mean, you can't say that. Because Smith is not a unique last name. No, because for each student there may be more than one last name. No, because for each student there is a unique last name. Can you take these 2 out? Yes, because unless you're from Mogadishu, you're not going to have a unique last name in the United States. Even McClure is not unique. Yours is not unique. Yours is not unique. Wait a minute, what's your last name? Oh gosh, no. There's like 50,000 million of y'all. Klauser, not, I mean, that's more unique than our names. Yeah. What's your last name? Pace. You can forget it. You got a daggum contact sauce name, got you. Huh? Cox, you can forget it. And you can forget it. You got your whole family. So it's not like these even exist anymore. Now in 1776 they probably did. Okay, so we got this one to choose from, or this one to choose from. Well, this says that when you don't have a function, you have what? Your y's are the same. In other words, you have 2 y's. They're not the same, but there's 2 y's for every x, versus a function like this, where you only have 1 x and 1 what? 1 y. That's why you did the vertical line test. So I think your answer would probably be no. Because for each student there may be more than 1 last name. That's what I think the answer would be. I really don't like that question. You won't see that question on the test. Let's see what the answer is. What'd I say, B? Nope. Oh, no.
Mm-mm. I disagree with that. I don't know what the answer is, but I disagree with it. Yes, because for each student. Okay, there is not enough information given in the question for you to say that. There is not enough information. No. It says a student classification system associates students with his or her last name. There is not enough information for you to ascertain that somebody is not given a Smith or a Green or a Johnson, or how do you know that? You're assuming what? I don't agree with this statement. I really think there's not enough information given. There should be a section D or a E. In the given relationship, is a student a function of the last name? What? I have no idea what it's asking. We can forget this question being on the test. Oh, I know what they're asking. I know what they're doing now. Is there a page in your book to where they got these two sets and you've got A to B and B to A, and have you seen in your book to where that's what they're doing, and I don't even go over that. For each last name, there may be more than one student. This is rhetorical. This is not a good question. This question should be taken out of the homework. Just remember which one's the answer. Yes, because each student, there is a unique last name. You don't know that. That's an assumption that you do not know. And no, because for each last name, there may be more than one student. That's why people get confused, because of these type questions. We will not have that on the test. If I have that on the test, I'll give it to you, because that's a stupid question. Not even mathematical. It's logic. Let's delete that one. All right, 1.3, number 3. 1.3, number 3. The percent of high school students that are potheads can be related to X, the number of years after 1990, by the equation blah, 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 blah. Why do we care about potheads? When we were in school, we just knocked them down in the dark hall. We just knocked them down. We thought they were useless. They still are useless. I ought to be shot. Huh? I ain't got no use for a pothead. I'd rather have a thief in my house than a pothead. I can't stand potheads. I ought to shoot them. All right. But anyway, I'm not even... By the equation, 26 blah, 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 blah. 26y minus 23x is equal to 52. Find the x-intercepts of the graph. Find the intercept, the y-intercept. Let's just do it. I don't even want to look at their question. Okay. 26y minus 23x is equal to 52. All right. All right, here is your function. Now, first thing you're going to do is turn it around to where you can understand it. When have you ever seen y before x? You don't. What are you doing? You're not supposed to be on here. Negative. Did you ever talk to your uncle?
I did.
What'd he say? That wasn't no count.
No, he said he wanted to.
He learned what?
He wanted
Yeah,
to.
well, he's a good guy, no matter what everybody says about him. Plus 26y is equal to 52. There. Now that's the way you need to put it. Now everybody goes, oh, okay, I know how to do this now. Well,
let's take this guy, and since this is a bunch of crap, let's take that. I don't know if it'll let me. Let's see if it'll let me. Nope. Yep. And I'm going to copy, see if I can do this. I'm going to press y'all with my ways. Nope. Copy. Man, y'all, aren't y'all impressed? I'm impressed it'll let me do it. Now, this is just like the pre-algebra days, your algebra 2 days, when you had find the intercepts. And if you had me for 102, which I don't think any of you did, I taught you to put the x-intercept over here, and the y-intercept over here, and the y-intercept, 0 is always x. The x-intercept, 0 is always y. And you put your problem under here, negative 23x plus 26y is equal to 52. And negative 23x plus 26y is equal to 52. And notice how I lined up my equation. All you got to do now is drop what? That 0 into that y. Drop that in there for that x. So negative 23x plus 0 is equal to 52. And 0 plus 26y is equal to 52. All right, finish it out. Negative 23x is equal to 52. Divide by negative 23. Divide by negative 23. Please don't do this. How much time is on this?
17 minutes, 32 seconds.
Text them. Go ahead and finish. What room we in? Two 37. Finish the problem, graph it. They told me to report it whenever it happens and how much time. AC 237. 18 minutes into using Promethean. Stylus stops working. Have to continue using mouse. So, somebody do that for me. What's 52 divided by 23? $52 divided by 23. What is it? How much? What? 2.26. So that is your x-intercept. Negative 2.26. You cold? A little bit. I'll turn the heat up. All right, 26, that's 2, right? Y is equal to 2 over here. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do you put x-intercept and y-intercept here? Because on these problems, what is the number one mistake the students make on this problem? Even though they do all the algebra correctly, they plot the wrong point. They plot the y-intercept on the x-axis and the x-intercept on the y-axis. So that's why Hubie writes this and this over each one. And for the x-intercept, what is your y always going to be? And for your y-intercept, what's your x always going to be? And that's why I do it the way I do it. I have found in the years that I've been teaching, this is the easiest way to show students how to get the x and the y-intercept on a linear equation. Now to draw it, I think y'all can do that. But sorry, I just get tired. It does this to me every day. I've been dealing with this since last semester. And it just don't happen in one room. It happens in every room that I use. Okay. So I'm going to put me a dot at negative 2.26. And that's going to be right in there. I was going to make it red a little bit bigger. And 0, 2 is right in there. So you've got a line that's going, let me draw a little line. Well, that's your line. Looks like that. Trying to draw it where y'all can see it, but not be crooked, but there you go. How about that? Does that look okay? And that's what your line looks like. Now let's go back to the stupid problem and see what they want next. Now, are you worried about this side right here? Are you worried about these two lines right here? Why? Because they're what? They're in the what regions? What region?
I don't know what answer you're looking for.
I'm asking y'all to think. And I appreciate you interacting, Mr. Klauser. These other people, I don't know what's wrong with them. It's like this. Y'all got problems? Say something. Why am I erasing those two lines and putting it there? Why am I putting it in the first quadrant? How many of y'all have seen a negative body? Anybody? Okay. Then why am I putting it in the first quadrant? Because it can't be negative. Thank you, Miss Foster.
Does that mean that one of these intercepts is irrelevant?
pretty much, yeah. So, what are the potheads doing? Are they decreasing or increasing? Increasing. Let's see what the question's asking now. Graph the function using the, okay, what's our, it says a simplified fraction. So what is our x-intercept? What was it? Let me go back. 52 over 23. 52, negative 52, does it, 23 is prime, right? So I don't think it'll reduce. So y'all have to excuse me, I'm trying to think. 52 over 23, so that'd be negative. I know it's going to mark it wrong because I'm not putting the 50 over 23. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's going to say put commas and all that probably, but I don't care. Okay, good. Find and intercept the p-intercept of the graph of this function. Choose the correct statement.
Wait, what's the answer to A?
This right here. Oops, I'm sorry. Hold on. That right there.
52 over -23.
Negative 52 over 23, yes. Find the y-intercept. Choose the correct statement below. The y-intercept is 2. The y-intercept is 2. The y-intercept is 3. The y-intercept is negative 2. So which one can we mark out? Okay, so let's go to the top two. The p-intercept, the y-intercept is 2. 1990, we're not using. So what does it say up here? The percent of high school students being potheads. So that would be being potheads. So that would be A. Now, by this information, what is it going to be in 2014? This is in 1990. So what's it going to be in 2014? Well, 1990 is 0. So what would be, what's 2014 from 1990? Somebody do that for me. I can't. How much? So plug in 24. X and solve for Y. Or go on your calculator and graph it. You can do it that way. Let's go to our handy dandy calculator. Somebody give me the equation. Y is equal to what? The whole equation. Negative X, or is it X? X plus Y. What is it? That's all right. I'll look it up. I'd hate for y'all to answer a question. Negative 23X. Oh, I got to solve it for Y first. Solve it for Y, that would be 23X, 23 divided by 26, would be negative 23, 26, be positive 23 over 26. That'd be parentheses 23 divided by 26, close parentheses, X. And it'd be 52 divided by 26 is what? 2 plus 2? And graph it. Hold on. And there's your graph. And now you can just go to table. And what are we looking up? We're looking up 14. Was it 2014? What would that be? 24? So in 2014, that number is 23%. And that's probably correct.
Right there it says 23.23.
Now, what was your question, Mr. Clauser?
Well, I just thought I was kind of lost.
Where were you lost? Tell me. Where I solved for y?
Well, I was writing the equation out, I plugged in 24, solved for y. I thought I was lost.
No, you got it. If you got 23.231, did you get that? Did you get that?
23.2307.
Yeah. That's right. Good job. So 24% of your high school class now are potheads. I don't want to know if that's right or not. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know nothing about it. So let's just get off that subject. And I don't know why I have such a hatred for potheads. I really don't know. I need to talk to my psychologist about it, but I don't have a psychiatrist, so I guess I need to find one. All right. We'll delete that one. And I think, is there any more questions that y'all have sent me that y'all know of? Because I'm going to have to find them. Has anybody got any more questions? Okay, nobody's going to talk to me anyway, so.
I have questions, but no, I didn't send them in.
Why didn't you?
I forgot to send them in. I wrote them down.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'll find them. Hold on. That's why I have y'all. Did I ever tell y'all the story why I have people send them in? Did I ever tell y'all why?
I don't think so, but
One of my, what? One of my first semesters that I started teaching, they stuck me in a 102 class, and I'd never taught algebra before. And I was nervous as a cat. And I had about 20 students in there. And this one student brought me a question, and she wrote it down. She wrote the answer down. And I did that problem 7 times. 7 times. It was a systems of equations. You know where you have 2 equations and you solve them, x and y. I did it 7 times, and I got the wrong answer each time. Those students thought I was a dumbass. After about the 4th or 5th time, they started asking if I knew what I was doing. Do you know what the problem was? I did it right. She wrote the problem down wrong. That's why I don't accept people writing down problems. But I will go find your problem. Okay?
I've often had a problem with that. It's like there's just a little,
One little thing.
a slight error, and then it's
Yep.
like if I wrote it down that way, yeah, it's right, but like that's because it's not entirely.
You did the problem right. You did another problem basically because one little thing is wrong. Mr. Greenwave, which one is it? 1.1 or 1.2?
1.2.
1 point what?
1.2.
What number?
Number 4. Or 7, whatever.
We'll do both of them. All right, this is a calculator drill. So get your calculators out. If you see this on a test, which you might, because it is a test question, I would put this on a test. All this is calculator drill. All right, so we take our handy dandy calculator out. And I told y'all about Wabbit EMU, right? And all the non-Apple users got to take advantage of it while the Apple users are still suffering.
How do you spell that?
Wabbit, like Wascally Wabbit, WABBIT, EMU. Go to your Play Store or App Store or whatever and type in Wabbit EMU and then download, and it'll ask you which calculator you want on your phone and knock yourself out.
No dot.
No. All right. X cubed. So x cubed plus 3x squared. 3x squared minus 9x. Now, are they giving you a domain? Yes or no? Yes. What is your domain? This is what I heard. That's what I heard. Answer the question. Don't come up to my office. This is what I hate. Y'all come up to my office, this is what y'all do. Do I acknowledge that? No, I ignore it. That pisses me off, okay? So, if you're going to answer a question, answer it. Now, what is the domain?
Negative 13 to 13.
Negative 13 to 13. I have just restricted your domain. Does 15, x equal 15, is that in your universe? No, it is not. Your window is negative 13 to 13. Now, and that's what they're asking you. They're asking you to, which of the following is the window viewing for the function using the given values? Well, first of all, if you was to plug in negative 13, what would that give you? Well, let's do that. You're going to find your range and domain right now. You already know your domain. So let's find your, I can't use that. So let's go back to the handy dandy drawing board that don't work half the time.
This is section 2, number 4. Oh, wait.
1.2, number 4. So our function is x cubed plus 3x squared minus 9x. And what are we going to plug in for those numbers? Well, negative 13 here, negative 13 here, and negative 13. So go ahead and do that.
I'm a little behind. I thought this was a problem I already did, but it wasn't.
So what are you telling me?
I'm telling you, I think maybe you need to be a few things.
Tell me what you need.
Find an appropriate viewing window.
Say again.
Find an appropriate viewing window for the function using the given variables and graph the function.
Okay, so first of all, you got to find your domain and range. They're giving you the domain. The domain is right here. There's your domain. So how do you find your range? You got to plug the domain into your equation so you can find your range. So that's what I'm doing.
I need a second question.
If the
What's the equation? It's y equals
x cubed plus 3x squared minus 9x. And if y'all wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to plug in numbers on this thing, and for some reason it's not letting me. There we go. So I'm going to plug in a negative 13 here, and I'm going to plug in a negative 13 here, and I'm going to plug in a negative 13 here. And I need y'all to calculate that out. Meanwhile, I'm going to copy this. Well, now it's not going to let me copy. There we go. And copy. And paste. Okay, it's not letting me paste now. There. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm doing the best I can, but I can't stop it. A lot of people say, why don't you reboot it? If I reboot it, I lose my video that I've been doing for y'all. 13. And 13. All right. somebody give me this one. If you plug in 13, what do you get? Well, 13 squared is 169. 169 times 3, I have no idea. So y'all need to crank that out. Somebody crank the other one out. What'd you get? Okay, I'm waiting for y'all to tell me.
The answer, the answer,
Which one? Positive or negative? Which one are you going to give me?
I just plugged in negative 13.
Okay, then you're giving me the negative answer. What's the negative answer? When you plug in negative 13, what'd you get?
156.
Is that what everybody else got? Okay, that's all right. I'll do it. I might as well just get Dr. Gabati in here. Negative 13 raised to the third power plus 3 times negative 13 squared minus 9 times negative 13. Is that what y'all got?
Huh?
Negative 2587.
Wait a second.
Well, 13 cubed is going to be negative what?
39.
So let's do that. Negative 13 cubed is 2197.
Huh?
You did negative 13 times 3.
Yeah, 13 times 3 is, 39. You got to do 13 cubed.
I got the squaring confused.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes,
That's fine. It happens. So y'all check my numbers and see if I'm right. Now somebody plug in the positive. I'll plug it in. Let me see. I can't go in here and change. I could, but I'm not. So 13 cubed plus 3 times, parentheses, I'm just going to do 169, minus 9 times 13. I get 2587 there. So it's negative 2587 and positive 2587. Everybody with me? Now the reason I did that twice is to double check it, to make sure that the first one was right. Because if you plug in the same number with just the different, most of the time you're going to get the same number. But I was checking it to see, because nobody would tell me 2587 was right except for Mr. Green. He did shake his head. So 2587 is correct. Thank you, Hubert. You're right, class. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So basically, I'm going to show you something. You're talking. I can't use the board. This is what you're talking about. There's your window. What is the X values in your universe? This question that we're doing. What are the x values?
Wait, what was the answer again? Negative,
I'm gonna have to take a tranquilizer before I come in here.
negative 1,573 is the answer?
No,
Wait a second. You said the equation was x to the third plus 3x squared.
I'm not on the equation right now. I can't tell you what it is. I'm asking y'all another question right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patel. Negative 13 to 13.
So your window should at least be negative 13 to 13. And what is your minimum x value?
Is that the 2,587?
Yeah. 2,587. And what's the positive y value? So your window needs to at least encompass those numbers. Now that's what they're going to ask you. All right? That's why you have to take the function and you have to plug in the x's to get your extreme y's. Because when you plug in your x's, you get your extreme y's. You with me? Because this point right here, what's this point right here? Comma, 13, comma what? 2587. Negative 13, what's this point right here? Negative 13, negative 2587. And that's where you should see the whole domain and range thing. See, you see the domain and range better when the domain is affected. If I give you negative 13 to positive 13, I've just got your world down to this orange rectangle. That's how domain and range works. So I don't know what the question's going to ask now, but that's what I was trying to show you is that's your universe in this problem. Is there a 3,000 for y? No. Is there a 15 for x? No. Is there a negative 15 for x? No. Your world is in this orange spot. Now, to set your windows in your calculator, you can set it negative 3,000, y, positive 3,000, just so you can see the whole graph. But your graph is just going to go to this number. All right? And you can set your negative 15, positive 15, so you can see everything. So let's see what they're going to ask on the question again. I'll put this away for right now. No, I'm not going to worry about that right now. All right. Negative 13, 13 by 20, 40. Yes, you go negative 13 to 13 by 10 and 20. No, you can't do that. That's going to be too small. That's going to be too small. So that's why you do that. You got that right. Which of the following is, and you can do that on the graph. So what part did you not get correct? This part? State whether the graph has a turning point in this window. Select the correct choice. Fill in answer blocks to complete your answer. Yes, it has a turning point. And you know how to calculate the turning point? Now, y'all have been in algebra for at least 2 years. Somebody should have told you this. Take the highest degree and minus 1. So, the highest exponent and minus 1. What's 3 minus 1? You got 2 turning points. Right here.
And that's how you find the turning point. You subtract 1 from the highest exponent. So you might want to write that down. And then, how do you find them? Well, you can find your max and min. Do you know how to do that on your calculator? Okay. Well, let's get your calculator and let's graph it. Yes, sir.
I'm still kind of,
Were you confused?
is this still, 1.2 question number 4?
Yes.
I still haven't gotten the equation right.
Okay. All right. Well, first thing, and please don't take this the wrong way. If you're having a problem seeing the problem, you need to sit up front. Okay? Because I've seen you get up several times and look at the problems in past classes. You need to sit up on the first 2 rows if you want to see the problem there. Because the reason I don't blow it up all the time is because I can't write on this board. I have to blow it up and break it down, blow it up and break it down. So, and I can't write on this one, so I'm going to write it on the board for you. And then I'll go through and do it because it sounds like you're having a problem doing the math. So, and you might have a problem doing the math because you don't have the problem written down correctly. So, let's just do it on the board. And all right. So, the problem is y is equal to x cubed plus 3x squared minus 9x. And they tell us that we can't use anything. We can use negative 13 to positive 13. There's our domain. The domain has been affected by the instructor or the instructions. So that's your universe from negative 13 to 13. So we need to find y sub 13. So, or negative 13, because we read from left to right. Y sub negative 13 is equal to parentheses cubed plus 3 times parentheses cubed squared minus 9 times parentheses. If you've ever had me for algebra, that's the first step in doing a substitution problem. Why do you put the parentheses? Well, you don't forget to plug in the number, that's correct, but what else? What's the thing up there that causes the most problems? The what? No, not the exponent. The what? The negative. And I can put something else up there that causes more problems, the negative fraction. Always use the parentheses. Some people believe they don't need parentheses. I've got 3 degrees. I've got an associate's degree, I've got a bachelor's degree, and I've got a master's degree, and I've got 18 hours for a doctorate. When I do this problem, to show you, I don't skip any steps. I do it just like that. If you was to ask me to do this problem on a test, I would do it exactly like that. And I got 3 degrees. So if I got 3 degrees and I still do that, what does that say about the way you do it? You might want to think about doing it. Put your negative 13 in here, your negative 13 in here, and your negative 13 in here. Negative 13 cubed is going to be negative what? Somebody do that for me. I don't have a calculator in my hand. 2197. Negative 13 squared is negative, is positive 169 times 3 is what? Thank you. Negative 9 times, that's dang old 117. Somebody help me. All right, add those three up. That ain't what we came up with before.
That's what I came up with when I.
Well, you were right. Evidently somebody else was wrong. I did the wrong number. Check it again.
It's negative 100.
Where? No, that's negative 13 squared is positive. The calculator must have took it as a, then that's right, Mr. Fowler was right. Sorry about that, Mr. Fowler. If the numbers are right, check it again. Tell me if you get a second number at the same time. Okay, what is it? Negative 1573. So you were correct, Mr. Fowler. I didn't hear you when you said that, I'm sorry. Okay, and y of 13, what would that be? And you see, and this goes to prove, I did it on the calculator. The calculator can give you a wrong answer. I usually never do that. And I won't do it again. You catch your bottom dollar of that. 13 cubed plus 3 times 13 cubed squared minus 9 times 13. And that's going to give you 2197. No, right?
Yeah.
2197. 3 times 169, that's 507. And then minus 117. What does that give you? The same number? I don't know. I'm sorry, what? I don't think it will. There it is, 2587. That's what I got. 2587. Okay, so our numbers are a little bit off. Sorry about that. But does that help you now? So you had the right number here. Did you have the right number here?
That's the positive
Mhm.
one? Oh, I think I see. Someone was calling me the positive answer.
Okay.
That was,
Well, we had this one wrong. So that box changed. And you would have caught it if you were doing the box. Let me change the box. I don't know where my box is. There it is. This number, the negative number, is the different one, right? That negative number needs to be negative what? 157 what? 3. I heard 157. That's what I heard. All right. So now let's draw it. Get back to the question so I can see it. Now this is where you need to manipulate your calculator, and there's several ways you can do it. Go y is equal to x cubed, somebody from Pennsylvania is calling me, x cubed plus 3x squared minus 9x, there it is, and graph it. And when you graph it, you're going to get a cluster like this. Do you need all these extra x's out here and out here? No. All you need is what? Negative what? Negative, I'm going to say 13, you can use 14 or 15, to positive 13. And then hit graph. Okay, that still sucks, but you can at least see something. All right? Now, we know that that turn is right up here. So what I do, this is what I do. I hit zoom, and then I hit out, or you can hit zoom, where is it? Zoom fit. I had fit, where is it? There it is, 0. Click enter, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
See, it's just zoom, that's not working. So go to zoom standard and get the messed up one again. There we go. And then this is the best, most reliable way. This is what I use, zoom out. And go up a little bit, put your center up a little bit, but don't go up too much because you're going to lose your bottom one there. So I say right about there. And see, now you can go in and use zoom box and box in just that little part. So I'm going to hit zoom box and I'm going to go up here and put my left hand corner right about there, hit enter, and then drop the box down. This is the easiest way to me. I don't even fool with window. And now I got a perfect picture of my turns and my intercepts and everything. Now, Mr. Green, I think that's the best way to do it. I don't even use window. Now, how do we find the max and the min? And this is good for chapters 1, 2, and 3. Hit second function, trace. Write this down in your notes. Second function, trace. And click minimum or maximum. It really don't matter because you're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put the left side. We know that the maximum is right there somewhere. So I'm going to put the left hand hash mark, hit enter. I'm going to put a right hand right about there, hit enter. And then I'm going to guess right about there is my max. And then it'll generate the max. And the max is negative 2.5 and 25.4. Write that down. That's your max. That's your turning point.
Second function.
Trace. And then pick max or min, whichever one you want. And then it's going to ask you for a left-hand side, hit enter, and then it's going to ask you for a right-hand side. Now I want you to find, I want y'all to find the mean on your calculator. Turn the air conditioner down a little bit for you, Mr. Callahan. I've got to get some water, people. My throat is dry. I'll be right back.
Where we
Hold on. Hold on just a second. What was your question?
Well, my question, I just wanted to say
Okay, good. Okay.
My mouth gets dry when I teach, and I can't. I usually have this filled up.
All right, so let's find our min. Second function, trace, and max or min. It don't matter. It don't matter which one you pick. And I go down here. Now, what is it doing when you say left side and right side? Why does it want the left side and right side? Can anybody ask that? Answer that? Nope. But that's a good answer. Let me ask you a question. If you lose your phone, how do you go about looking for it? You go to the last place you what? Used it, right? What is it doing when it's asking for the left and the right hand side? What is the calculator asking you? Where to look? It saves it a little bit of time. You don't have to do that. You could just hit enter, and it'd take longer than if you tell it where to look. That's what it's doing. It's kind of like when you lose your phone in the house, you try to remember which room you used it in. Well, that's what it's doing. It's asking for the room. So you put left-hand side, enter, and then you give it a right-hand side. Doesn't matter where you put it. I'm going to put it way up here. You don't have to put it any certain place. And then you put a guess. And that says, okay, look between these two arrows, look for the phone in this room, and it should be in this room right here. And there's the room right there, right here, right here. And that's what it's telling you. And your min should be negative or 1 comma negative what? I can't see. 5, it looks like 5. You have to look on yours. I can't, that looks like a 5. And that's a 1. 999999997, that's 1. So now you can find the max and the min. What about the x-intercept or the y-intercept? You can find that. Second function, trace, intersect. Or you can find it was 0. 0, that is the x-intercept, or you can just go intersect here. And it'll ask you to, first curve is this line. Second curve is the x-axis. It should, I don't know why it's not letting me do the x-axis. Well, do zeros. Let's go back and do zeros. Second function, trace, zeros, left bound. Put it on the left, that's going to be on the curve. You know it's crossing somewhere right here. So put the left bound and the right bound right there, and the guess, it looks like it's crossing the x-axis somewhere in there, and there is your, so what's the x-intercept on the left? Negative 4.90, and you can do that on the right hand side also.
Where would you like to do like left and right stuff?
Put it where you guess it is, where you think it is. All right. Now, what does it ask you? What else does it ask you, Mr. Green? Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay. And yes, the graph has a turning point. The turning points are whatever we said they were. I'm just going to put in 3. Well, I can't answer your question because that's your homework question. I went in directly to your homework, so you're going to have to do it. Okay? Keep sending those questions in because that tells me how fast I need to go in the class, and right now I'm trying to fill y'all out, and y'all ain't talking to me, so it's kind of making it hard on me. I'm just kidding. Did I just exit out of that? Please tell me I didn't. No, there it is. Okay, stop.